A 74-year-old woman sat across from me, her eyes steady, but there was a quiet weight behind them. She said softly, "I had no idea I was hurting myself. All these years, it wasn't illness. It wasn't trauma. It was something far more common. Something millions of women still do in silence, without knowing the quiet cost it may carry." I'm Dr. Anna Carter. I specialize in women's health after 60, and after nearly 3 decades of listening, healing, and witnessing, I've learned something that most women are never told. Your self-pleasure habits change with age. And if you don't change with them, it could quietly affect your body, your mind, and your sense of worth. You may have heard masturbation is natural, healthy, harmless, but what if the way you do it is slowly disconnecting you from yourself? Are you living or just getting by? Where are you watching this from? Let me know in the comments. And if you care about your health, your dignity, and your right to feel alive after 60, don't forget to subscribe. This space was made for the conversations no one wants to have, but every woman deserves to hear. Now, let's begin with the first truth. One that could change how you see your body and yourself. Secret 1. Arousal is no longer everything. I still remember the look in Margaret's eyes. She was 72, petite, quiet, but deeply unsettled. She looked at me and whispered, "Doctor, I can't feel like I used to. Does that mean I'm no longer a woman?" That question stayed with me. Not because it was rare, but because it was so common. Hundreds of women have said the same thing in different ways. They no longer feel as wet, as fast, as intense, and they fear that something is broken, or worse, that something essential is gone. But here's the truth. It's not a loss. It's a transition, a gentle evolution. When you pass 60, your blood flow slows down, your hormone levels shift, your nerves take longer to respond. What used to feel automatic now takes intention. But that doesn't mean you're failing. It doesn't mean your body is done. Many women believe that if they can't climax the way they used to, they're no longer whole. But that belief is a trap, a relic from another time. We were raised to believe that femininity meant being soft, responsive, and effortless. But who ever told you that you still deserve connection, even if your response isn't perfect? I've seen women carry shame for years, simply because they didn't know their bodies were changing. They weren't broken. They were just never taught how to listen differently. Arousal isn't the full story anymore. Presence matters more. Permission matters more. When you stop chasing what used to be and start exploring what is, you open yourself to a new kind of intimacy, one rooted in gentleness, patience, and deep self-respect. And that's why this truth is so important. Because when Margaret began to understand her body wasn't gone, just different, her whole energy shifted. If you've ever felt the same way, comment the word understand below. You may help another woman realize she's not alone. Now, let's move forward to the next secret. One that touches something deeper than desire. It reaches into memory, emotion, and the quiet space where healing begins. Secret 2. Masturbation isn't just physical. It's emotional and neurological. It was a quiet morning when Linda walked into my office. She was 76, a retired school teacher with kind eyes and a heavy heart. No urgent issue. No diagnosis. Just a single sentence. "I don't feel anything anymore, doctor." Not just sexually. In general. At first, I thought it was hormonal or physical. But the more we talked, the clearer it became. Linda wasn't disconnected from her body. She was disconnected from herself. She had been masturbating nearly every night, not out of passion, but to sleep, to soothe loneliness, to feel something. This is a truth I wish every woman over 60 could hear. Masturbation at this stage of life is not just about sexual release. It's deeply emotional. It's tied to your nervous system, to your hormones, to your state of mind. Every time you orgasm, your body releases dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. These natural chemicals calm your mind, help you sleep, ease anxiety. For many women living alone, self-pleasure becomes their only moment of peace, their only release, their only control. But when it becomes automatic, mindless, it starts to lose meaning. That's what happened with Linda. The action stayed, but the feeling faded. She had turned to the act like a ritual, but her heart wasn't in it anymore. She didn't even notice when it stopped feeling like healing. As women, we've been taught to sacrifice, to give everything, to put ourselves last. So when self-touch becomes the only moment we let go, it holds more than sensation. It holds survival. Masturbation isn't dangerous, but when done without presence, it can make you feel emptier over time. If you're doing it just to pass the time or avoid a feeling you haven't named, you may be disconnecting even more from what you really need. But if you approach it gently, with awareness, it can become a form of emotional healing, a way back to yourself. If Linda's story touched something in you, comment the word deep below. You might be surprised how many others feel the same way. And if this secret surprised you, the next one might be even more urgent, because while some women suffer from disuse, others may be suffering quietly from the exact opposite. Secret 3. Use it or lose it is real, but often misunderstood. I'll never forget my first session with Elaine. She was 74, widowed, and had just started dating again after more than 12 years alone. But instead of excitement, her voice trembled with shame. "I finally found someone who makes me feel again," she said. "But my body, it doesn't respond. It's like it shut down." I feel embarrassed, and I understood. Not because she was broken, not because she was too old, but because she had simply forgotten how to care for that part of herself. This is something most women over 60 have never been told. Sexual health isn't just about age. It's about activity, about connection, about gentle attention. Just like muscles weaken without movement, your intimate tissues and nerves need stimulation to stay responsive. When you stop touching, stop feeling, the body slowly adapts. The vaginal walls thin out. Lubrication fades. Circulation slows. And sensitivity begins to dull. But it doesn't happen overnight. It happens quietly. While you're grieving, busy, or simply unaware that this part of you still needs care. Elaine hadn't touched herself in over a decade. Not because she didn't want to, but because she thought it no longer mattered. She assumed this was just what aging does. But deep inside, her body had been silently closing down, waiting for attention it never got. The good news is, it wasn't too late. With slow, patient practice, a gentle lubricant, a few minutes of quiet presence, Elaine started to feel again. Not immediately, but gradually, her body remembered. And with that came something even more precious, her confidence. So many women believe if they don't have a partner, their sexual health isn't worth maintaining. But that belief is not only untrue, it's harmful. Self-pleasure at this age isn't about performance. It's not about chasing a climax. It's about reminding your body it still matters, that you are still here, still worthy of connection. If Elaine's story feels familiar, leave a comment with the number 1 below. One keystroke, one gentle reminder that you still deserve to feel. And if not touching yourself can create slow, silent damage, what about the opposite? What if the way you're staying sexually active is quietly rewiring your senses in the wrong direction? Secret 4. Your vibrator may be numbing your sexual reflexes without you knowing it. Late one evening, I received a call from Charlotte. She was 68, divorced, and had lived alone for nearly 15 years. Her voice was low and tired. "I still touch myself," she said. "But it's like I'm disconnected. Like nothing reaches me anymore." Charlotte wasn't the first to say this. And I knew exactly what was happening. As we spoke more, she admitted she had been using a high-powered vibrator nearly every night. "It's fast. It works. I don't have to think," she said. But over time, her body stopped reacting to anything else. Her hands felt too soft. Warmth from others felt distant. She couldn't feel the touch, even when she wanted to. This is a truth many older women wish they'd known sooner. As your nervous system ages, it becomes less flexible, less adaptable. And when you use one intense form of stimulation, like a strong vibrator, over and over, your brain starts to rely on it. It starts to expect only that one type of input. It's like listening to music at full volume for years, then trying to hear a whisper. You're still alive, still reaching, but you can't connect. Charlotte described it perfectly. "I'm doing all the right things, but I feel nothing. I'm not numb on the outside. I'm numb on the inside." The danger is how slowly it happens. At first, it feels like a solution. Then one day, your imagination is quiet. Your body doesn't respond, even though your heart still wants to feel. But this isn't the end. There's a way back. We began a simple routine. No vibrator, just her breath, her own touch. No goal, no pressure, just presence. And within a few weeks, she felt something again. Not a rush, but a warmth, a whisper of sensation, a sign of life. If you've been using a vibrator and slowly feel less, not more, comment the word gentle below. Because sometimes what your body needs most isn't intensity, it's softness. Now we come to the final truth, one that ties all the others together. A message that every woman over 60 deserves to hear, even if no one ever said it before. Secret 5. Self-pleasure can be a lifeline, not a source of shame. Evelyn was 75. Soft-spoken, graceful, always polite. During a routine checkup, she hesitated. Then she asked, "Doctor, at my age, is it still okay to touch myself?" It wasn't the first time I'd heard that question. In fact, I've heard it from dozens of women. Smart women, loving women, women who've spent their lives giving, building, surviving. And every time it comes with the same quiet guilt, as if they're confessing something wrong. But here's what Evelyn didn't know, and what every woman over 60 deserves to hear. Self-pleasure isn't something to be ashamed of. At your age, it might be one of the most powerful forms of self-care you still have. When done with presence and intention, masturbation can keep your intimate tissues healthy. It stimulates blood flow, supports elasticity, helps preserve natural moisture, and promotes calm through the release of soothing brain chemicals. But more than biology, it does something even deeper. It keeps you connected to the woman you still are, the part of you that still holds desire, still holds dignity, still wants to feel. When Evelyn lost her husband, she stopped everything. For nearly 6 years, she didn't allow herself even one moment of physical pleasure. I thought it was inappropriate, she said. I didn't think I was allowed to be that kind of woman anymore. But that's the lie so many of us are told, that after a certain age, we're supposed to stop feeling, to shrink, to disappear. Desire doesn't retire. It softens. It changes, but it never leaves. When Evelyn started to reconnect with her body again, without judgment, without urgency, she began to sleep better, smile more, feel lighter. She wasn't chasing her youth. She was reclaiming her worth. That's what self-touch can be in later life. Not an escape, but a return. A way to say, I still matter. If that truth speaks to your heart, comment the word me below. A small word, but sometimes the bravest one we say. And now, before we close, I want to leave you with one final message. A gentle reminder for every woman who's ever felt like she had to slowly fade away. Conclusion: if you've stayed with me until now, I want to thank you, not just for listening, but for having the courage to face a subject that most women your age were never given permission to talk about. These 5 truths are not just medical advice. They are hard-earned wisdom. From women who thought they had lost something, only to realize it was always within them. We've learned that arousal doesn't define womanhood. That self-pleasure is deeply emotional and neurological. That use it or lose it is real, but gentle and recoverable. We've uncovered the hidden cost of overstimulation. And above all, we've discovered that this private act can be a lifeline. A quiet but powerful way to say, I'm still here. I still matter. Age does not take away your right to feel, to heal, to touch, to connect. It does not disqualify you from pleasure or peace or presence. Your health and happiness in later life are not passive. They are choices. And the most courageous choice you can make is to stay curious about your own body and your own soul. So wherever you are on your journey, I hope these truths help you remember something important. You were never broken. You were simply waiting to be remembered. If even one of these truths spoke to you, please comment the word agree below. Your voice could help another woman feel less alone. And if you'd like to keep learning, to keep reclaiming your body with honesty and kindness, I invite you to subscribe. This space is yours, and every new conversation is a step forward. Finally, if this message made you think of a friend, a sister, or anyone who might need it, please share it with her. You never know how much healing one quiet video can bring. Let's keep breaking the silence. Together. You deserve the truth. You deserve support. You deserve to feel.